So today is officially 1 week until the London Marathon. Just sounds crazy to say that. Could potentially be one of the best days of my life or one of the worst, depending on the outcome. So in this video, I'll just be discussing a few things like my pacing strategy, like what goals I'll be going for, what I'll be wearing on my feet, and like how the training's gone. Because no matter how much training I do from this point onwards, it'll probably just be detrimental. So there's that and a few other things what I'll be discussing today. So if you're new around here, I'm Ellis. I've ran one marathon before in a time of 3 hours 55 and 17 seconds, something like that, which I was over the moon with as it was my first. I did aim for sub 3:45, but the wheels fell off about halfway around and it was very hard work. We're just past about halfway, and honestly my top half of my body feels like it's disconnected from the bottom half. So in this marathon I'm going to go for the time I couldn't manage 6 months ago. So as I've already mentioned the times I want to go for, I feel like now's the perfect time to discuss the goals that I want to achieve whilst doing this race. I've gone into it with a few goals in mind. My main goal being just to enjoy it as much as I can, because I may never get the chance again. Like, I've been lucky enough to get a place, well, in the first place, so I'd think I'd be like a bit stubborn to block it all out and like not just take all the atmosphere in. Also, I don't know if you're aware of him, but like, there's a bloke called 40 Runs, and he's got a YouTube channel and a podcast and that. But yeah, I listen to some of his stuff, and he says like the crowd's just unreal. So there's another reason to obviously take it all in. And like, I think he's got a cheer station, maybe mile 17 or 18, something like that. So I'll be looking to have a little detour in there as I'm going around. So as I'm quite a competitive man, there's always going to be a time goal in mind, which I've already touched on. So I'm going to be going for sub 3:45 in this one, which is an average pace of about 5 minutes 19 per kilometre. That's like the bare minimum. So I'm going to be going roughly 5:15, something like that. So as I've already mentioned, taking it in is my main goal. But like, because I failed it the first time round, it makes me want to get it even more this time, so I'm glad it happened really, because if you achieve everything the first time round, you don't really like get that failure, and like it makes you a bit more hungry to get it the second time round. I won't be absolutely gutted. Well, I will be a little bit gutted if I don't get it, but it's kind of like a B goal in my mind. I better get this done quick before the sun absolutely blinds me. So having mentioned the time goal I want to go for, I feel like now's a good time to mention like a pacing strategy what I want to go for. So I've heard this strategy mentioned a few times by different people, but they're normally a pro or very quick anyway. So I'm not sure how it's going to suit me. So basically what it is like setting off a bit too slow for the first couple of Ks, or like say a bit conservative instead of slow, we use that word. So I think what I'm going to go for is the first 5k, because in London I've heard it's quite undulating, and the first 5k you'll be like just in your waves before you all come together anyway. So I'm going to use that time to like go a bit conservative and a bit slower than what I actually need to. So after that first 5k of like going at a slower pace, that's when I'll drop it to like the average pace I want to actually sit at for the whole race, which is 5 minutes 15 a kilometre. I need 5 minutes 19 a kilometre, like barely get the time I want to go for, so I'm setting myself a few seconds quicker just for a bit of leeway, like if I need the toilet or whatever, and then it will also drag my average down, setting off a bit slow. So the scary bit is where the pros have like gone a bit slow at the start, they've done that so then at like the last couple of K they can just give it everything what they've got and then bring their average down as much as they can. I don't know how that's going to pan out for an average runner like me, because last time the wheels fell off at halfway round, so God knows what I'll be feeling like with like 3k left. Hopefully doing this I've saved enough energy in the first 5k to give it a little bit of a kick at the end, but we'll see how that pans out. So the next thing I want to bang on about is what I'll be wearing on my feet, which is going to be these bad boys. So I've done a couple of runs in them already, and look at the state of them. Bad. Hopefully these can give me some decent energy efficiency or energy return, whatever, I don't know. Help me just get to the end in the time I want, basically. That's the top and bottom of it. I ain't going to use fancy words. The real reason why I got them was because these and the shoes I had before, look at them getting a bit of wear and tear in them now and that. But these are the best running shoes I've ever put on my feet. They're absolutely unreal. Like, they're not too aggressive, don't hurt my feet. It's just the best. But the only reason I didn't get another pair of these is because the colourways, what was on sale, was just crap. Like, I don't want to be paying 230 quid for like something I don't really like the look of. I mean, I weren't too stuck on these, to be honest, but they're not as bad as the ones that are on sale now. And they're like white and yellow and like a mango-y colour, and I thought I don't want to, so I took a risk with these, and hopefully they can be as good as these. So I've wore these now, say about 30k, 35k, just to wear them in a bit and like get used to them. And to be honest, I've had no major problems. Like the first time I wore them, there was a bit of heel rubbing, but only when I walked. When I'm running, it's totally fine. So I have done that fancy run and not thing. Whatever, it seems to help. I don't get any problems. So yeah, if you do try that, just go on YouTube and type in runners knots or whatever, and yeah, it'll hopefully help you too. But what I will do is I'll ask Mol to take these in a bag, just in case anything does happen, like when I get past 30k or 35k. It's unknown territory then, really. I'd rather lose like 30 seconds swapping my shoes and like have a comfier ride instead of like bashing it out all the way to the end. I just want the least amount of problems as I can have, basically. So I've run out of like smooth transitions. So here's the fourth point. It's basically how my training's gone, and I'm going to compare it to my last marathon block. It started off good, and you're always enthusiastic when you start things, and then like I think it was a good idea as well, starting the videos from like halfway through instead of from the start, because then it would have got really boring. Especially like it'd have been better practice obviously, but it's just like how much can you actually put into a video that's going to differ one week to the next when you're pretty much doing the same thing. But then I'm going to go on to like how the actual training was for me instead of just like on the video side of things. Yeah, it was good, and I feel like I pushed myself, and I've been much more consistent this time round. I'm actually proud of like my Strava graph. I'll put it on the screen somewhere now. Like, but I came into this block with an injury off the back of the last marathon, so I wanted to like only increment things 10% each week, which is what you should do anyway. Before you get injuries, you just think you're indestructible. It takes an injury to make you think, you know what, I don't want to end up like that again, so I will take a bit more precaution. So coming into this marathon block, my main priority was to just be fit enough to get around the marathon and finish it, because it's like an opportunity I didn't want to miss. So as I mentioned, after getting over that injury, I was strict on the 10% rule, and like I only increased my mileage 10% each week, and then bringing intensity into things as well. I only done that slowly. I didn't do both at once because that can also cause problems. So as you can see on the graph, it's like I'm just proud of it. Like, it's such a shit thing to be proud of, but like it just goes up slow. Actually, I'll do it this way. It just goes up slowly, and then like peak week's there, and then today I've finished, so I've got the whole thing. Next week's marathon week, so peak week's about here, and then it comes down, and then down to 40 today, which is just like a round number I wanted to get it to. I wish I had a picture of my old graph just to like compare it, because I remember the week before, I'm sure it was about 60 something k, and like that was unheard of in that block. I only done it though because I was like I kept missing long runs, and like, I was just less into it really. I do feel like though I managed it quite well. I'm doing 16 weeks of pretty much not the same thing. Obviously you're increasing it and it's getting harder and more challenging, which does make it like less boring, because if you're doing the same runs and like the same paces, then it would be boring. But I do think I managed it quite well, like going to different places, getting more different company on your runs. Yeah, just trying new things. Like I've never been on a track before. I jumped on a track. You got to switch it up, because if you do all the runs on the same place, which is what I done last time, then that just makes it even worse. It was annoying me, like, oh, I've got to go here and do this session again. This training's starting to get a bit just monotonous. It's starting to do my head in a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. One thing I done differently this training block compared to the last one as well was the long runs. The long runs in the last one, I've done pretty much 95% of them, all just at slow pace. It weren't until this block that I realised you can actually like make them into sessions as well. Did switch it up this time, and like I feel like that will make the most difference, because the marathon day won't just be a long run at an easy pace. It's gonna be some of the more of them challenging paces in there. So like one session I done was a 32k. What I made it a progression run. So like I done a block of 10k too slow, 10k at marathon pace, and the final 10k quicker. It makes me run quicker on fatigued legs, which is what I'll be doing next week. Oh man, that was tough at the end. So moving on to my final point and my final place in the garden, I like to just switch it up a little bit. It just like breaks it up then, instead of just sitting in the same place all the time. First of all, I just want to say like how grateful I am to be able to have this opportunity to do it, like, and I just feel like very lucky to get a place in this marathon, because I'm sure it's like one of the hardest ballots to get a place in. Like 850,000 people entered it, and like only 50,000 people do the marathon. Then you got to factor in the people that get places through charities, like, I don't know, influencers or whatever, and then like good for age categories. So like, I'm sure you only get like 5% chance of actually getting in through the ballot. So yeah, I'm grateful for that. Every time I do think about it though, like I do get a bit nervous. It's just a natural thing, like anything in life. Like when you've got a big challenge coming up, you're always going to think like, oh, this could happen, that could happen. Like I've said earlier, I'm just going to enjoy it and then worry about the time afterwards. The amount of times like I've been listening to something or watching something about it, I've just imagined crossing the finish line so many times. And it's just like, It's like a feeling I can't explain. Hopefully, I'll just get there and feel good. Like the last time, I was absolutely battered. Like I was going faint and everything. Like I was saying earlier, people enter this ballot like the whole lives and still don't get a place. So it's the first time I've entered and I've got a place. Like it could be the first and last time I ever get a chance to do this race. I'll remember that on the start line and just make the most out of this maybe once in a lifetime opportunity. So hopefully all that rambling has made you intrigued to see how I actually get on in the marathon. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and whack that bell or whatever to be notified when the actual marathon video comes out. And hopefully the thumbnail is me with a big smile on my face.